Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome to online class for degree pass third year English. Dear student, you know, due to epidemic COVID-19 coronavirus, teaching activities of all the educational institution have been stopped for last few months. That's why Jhaudanga College is organizing online class with the passage of time, respecting the instruction of the government. Dear student, I am Jahirul, lecturer English department, Jhaudanga College Satkhira Class. Now I would like to discuss about your passage writing. Dear student, passage writing. Here you will find in your examination a passage or a comprehension, and from that passage or that comprehension you may follow or you may observe or you can find out the story or a tale or any matter may be discussed in the passage, and from that story or from that passage or tale or incident you have to mark or you have to underline or you have to find out informative sentence. That is, in the passage you will get many informative sentence, but all the sentence of the passage are not important. All the sentence of the passage will not be so much informative, but you have to choose, you have to underline or you have to find out informative sentence in the passage, and you have to remember the sentence in your mind or you have to bear in mind all the time when you want to answer the question step by step. Then I would like to discuss about today, that is passage writing, that part A. And dear student of degree pass third year, dear student, you will get part A, and to the question you will get some question and you have to answer the question, and you will find that as for example I can present here or before you, I can present before you that the technique or the way of answering question. That is, all the time you will remember in your mind that when you find in the question why, when you find why in the question, then you have to answer the question and you have to highlight, you have to perform, you have to present causes, because why is adverb of causes. Why is adverb of causes, and for the very word or for the very adverb, when you find why in the question, then you have to present causes or you have to answer the question highlighting causes. That is why adverb of causes. Now you can prepare your answer, like as for example I can present before you, why do the student get unhappy marks? Why do the student get unhappy marks? Here presented a question for you. That is, you have to answer this question, and according to the rules and regulation, you may find that when you find do as auxiliary verbs used in the sentence, then you have to omit or you have to use base form of verb, that is present form of verb, as well as you have to omit do or does. On the other hand, dear student, you can follow that when you find do or does or did in the question, then you have to omit do, does, did. But for did, when we get did as auxiliary verbs, then we have to omit did, and you have to omit did, but you have to transform, you have to change the verb into past tense. That is, it is very easy for you, or you can easily understand this topic, that do, does, did. If you find in the question, then you have to omit do, does, did. When we get do will be omitted, and base form or present form of verb will be used. When you get does in the question as auxiliary verb, then you have to omit does, and you have to use yes and es at the end of the verb. And when you find did in the question, then you have to use past form of verb. However, dear students, why do the student get 4 marks? As for example, or if we answer the question, then you can arrange the answer. The student get unhappy marks. Do already been omitted. Do here auxiliary verbs already been omitted. Student get unhappy marks. The student get unhappy marks because causes been highlighted here. Causes been highlighted here. Because they fail to understand. They fail to understand the question. Why do the student get unhappy marks? The student get unhappy marks because they fail to understand the question properly. Cram their answer with irrelevant and unnecessary details. That is, the student don't understand the question properly. They cram their answer unnecessarily. That's why also they don't get happy marks. It is very clear to you that when we find why, then causes will be highlighted. Next question for you, that how adverb of manner. Dear student, how adverb of manner. When you find how in the question, then you have to highlight manner, or you have to describe the answer. You have to describe or narrate the answer. That is adverb of manner. How can a student get happy marks? How can a student get happy marks? You can answer such like that a student can get happy marks by understanding and answering to the points. Dear student, listen to me very carefully. How can a student get happy marks? When you will find how in the question, then you have to highlight manner. That is adverb of manner. So, a student can get happy marks by understanding and answering the question to the point. So, it is very clear to you that, dear student, when you find how in the question, then you have to highlight, you have to present adverb of manner, and you have to describe or you have to narrate the question. Next number, where adverb of place. Dear student, when you will find where used in the question, then you have to highlight place. Adverb of place. Where? Adverb of place. So you have to highlight. You have to present adverb of place. That is place. So student, you always remember or you always observe that when you find where in the question, then you have to highlight place in your answer. So we can explain the answer. Where are homeless people found? Where are homeless people found? Homeless people are found. Homeless people are found in the streets of Dhaka city. Homeless people are found in the streets of Dhaka city. So student, listen to me very carefully. Here you should follow. Dear student, here you should follow auxiliary verbs, principal auxiliary verbs. When you find in the question principal auxiliary verb being used, or in case of principal auxiliary verb, you have to use the principal auxiliary verbs. You have to use principal auxiliary verbs, as well as you will remember all the time that when you find any modal auxiliaries in the question, then you have to present in your answer modal auxiliary verbs. But when you find do, does, did as auxiliary verbs in the question, then you have to omit do, does, did. Do, for do will be omitted, but you have to use the verb as present form. And when you find does in the question, then you have to use yes or yes at the end of the verb. On the other hand, when you find did in the question, then did will be omitted, but you have to transform, you have to change the verb into past tense. I think the point is very clear to you. Next number. So homeless people are found in the streets of Dhaka city. Next number question. When dear student, when adverb of time. We know the very word is adverb of time. So when you find, when you observe, or when you will follow in the question, or you will get in the question when been used, when has been used in the question, then you have to present, you have to perform, you have to highlight time. You have to highlight time in your answer, preparing your answer. You have to present, you have to use time in your answer, because the very word when is adverb of time. When we find when adverb of time, then you have to use time or highlight time in the question. So as for example, the student, you should listen to me very carefully. When was Nelson Mandela awarded? When was Nelson Mandela awarded Nobel Peace Prize? When was Nelson Mandela awarded Nobel Peace Prize? You may prepare your answer. You may prepare your answer such like Nelson Mandela. Principal auxiliary verbs will be used. Nelson Mandela was verb. Nelson Mandela was awarded Nobel Peace Prize in 1993. Time. Dear student, you may follow 1993. The very word is time. Time has been highlighted here because adverb of time. So dear student, for the student of degree pass, you will listen to me, or you will remember that your total marks 100 marks, but you have to sit for examination only written 80 marks. 80 marks for written. And out of 80 marks, you have to get 32 marks. 32 marks out of 80 marks. And rest of the 20 marks will be tested as a in-course number. Clear, dear student? I think most of the students don't know this topic or this matter, this subject, that total 100 marks, and out of 100 marks 80 marks for written, and out of 80 marks we have to get 32 marks, and rest of the 20 marks for in course. Clear? So dear student, today I have discussed about before you that passage writing you will get in your question or in your examination. You will get a passage or comprehension, and the very passage, the very comprehension you have to go through very carefully, and you have to remember or you have to mark the informative sentence. Before I told you that all the sentence or most of the sentence are not informative. Some of the sentence are very informative, and you have to remember the sentence, and you have to remember in your mind when you answer the question or when you will prepare the next questions step by step. So here is presented question writing. How can you prepare your question, or the way of writing question. Today I have discussed about the topic, and this is part A. This is part A, and to the part A you will get question writing as well as writing word or meaning of the word. So to the question B you have to write down meaning of the word in English, and you have to prepare a sentence. You have to prepare sentence the given order. Dear student, follow me. You have to prepare sentence the given order, and as well as you have to write down meaning of the word in English, as well as you have to prepare sentence. So as for example, I have already been presented here that occupation means in English, means in English job. So as for example, sentence I can present before you sentence. His job is agriculture. Next, glorious means wonderful. I passed or I spent a glorious student life. I spent a glorious student life. Next number, acid means gain. So if you want to achieve a glorious result, you have to work hard. So dear student, I think you in the meantime you have got some idea, or I think that the point is very clear, the topic is very clear to you. That is, you will get a passage of comprehension in your examination. And part A, that is, you have to prepare some question or you have to answer some question to the question number A, and to the B number question you will get some word, and you have to write down meaning of the word in English, and as well as you have to prepare the sentence with the given words. So dear student, no more today. I think you will follow the instruction of the government, and you will keep physical distance, bodily distance, and social distance to keep yourself and I think you will, if you face any problem, you will comment me or you will share this topic or my class with your friends. That's why they can be benefited from this class. So no more today. I think we shall discuss more about more topic in the next class. So no more today. My best wishes to your family. Best of luck.